Just because we pray does not mean God is going to listen. In the time of Joshua, when the Israelites first came into the land that they were promised by God, the first city they were to conquer was Jericho. Everything in the city was to be devoted to destruction, and nothing was to be taken from it for any person individually. They went in there, God gave them the victory. Next city on the list was Ai. It didn't have the number of population. In fact, they figured they could handle Ai with just a few thousand instead of the whole army going out. And so they went and they were defeated. So Joshua's like, what's going on here? So he's very discouraged. He rips his clothes and everything. And so he goes in prayer to God about this matter. As he's praying, what happens? Joshua chapter 7, verse 10. So Yahweh said to Joshua, get up. Why do you lie thus on your face? Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them. For they have even taken some of the cursed things and have both stolen and deceived, and they have also put it among their own stuff. Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turn their backs before their enemies, because they have become doomed to destruction. Neither will I be with you any more, unless you destroy the accursed from among you. So he was praying, and God said to him, what are you doing? Get up. Somebody sinned. Somebody doing something wrong. And so once they found out who it was, Achan and his family, they stoned him that very day. And the sin was removed. They moved forward against Ai and devastated it and defeated it completely. There was a mass shooting in Minnesota. 2 killed, 17 injured as far as I know. And this is just one of many, many mass shootings in America. And what do they usually say after that? Well, give us your thoughts and your prayers. Well, can we say that God is listening to such prayers? Or that such thoughts are even of any value? What did Jesus say? Matthew 26:52. Those that live by the sword will die by the sword. And so this is a basic law and principle that if you live by the weapon, you're developing a society that will die by the weapon. You're not increasing security in your society, you're decreasing it. You're ensuring that many people will die over and over again. We have a society that prides itself on the Second Amendment. That is a gun culture. They do exactly what Jesus said not to do. They do nothing in regards trying to do something about all these guns out here. More guns than there are people in the United States. They would strap a gun on a baby if they could. So how are you going to come to God when you have this gun culture, a culture that Jesus warned against, and now you're going to come and pray to God about this thing, and you're not doing anything to get rid of this type of culture? Why would God listen to your prayers? In this stew of gun culture, you add to it your racism, your hatred, your stand your ground, your open carry, all these type of things. Even your religious leaders promote guns, even knowing what Jesus says about this thing. Mass shooting happens, right away you go thoughts and prayers. Well, based on God's history in the Bible, he's not listening to those kind of prayers. Just like with Achan, it tells you that somebody's doing something wrong. Jesus says, put the sword away. Put the weapon away. But you instead, you're not only not putting it away, you're embracing it and collecting as many as you possibly can. And then when these things happen, then you want to go and pray to God, tell everybody thoughts and prayers. You want to blame God. Well, you can't blame God, because everything you're doing is in disobedience to God. In Isaiah 2, verse 4, and he shall judge between the nations and rebuke many people. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not lift up sword against nation, neither will they learn war anymore. So we see how God will cause all these weapons of war to be done away with here upon this earth. And that is what will produce peace. You cannot produce peace and security by flooding the market with guns. That doesn't produce peace. That produces insecurity, as Jesus said in Matthew 26:52. If you want peace, these things have to be removed. It's not to say that we don't pray and we don't have good thoughts for the victims, because we do. But as a nation, America, God has no reason to listen to you, because you have defied his word about these guns, about these weapons. His son told you to put them away. You said, no, we're not going to put them away. We're going to do what we want to do. But those that trust in God do not trust in weapons, and they do not engage in any of this gun culture, but they are people of peace, because Jesus says that such ones who are at peace will inherit the future blessings.